I recently released a video telling a short story about a 15-year-old girl called Olivia who's dating a stranger off Instagram. At the end of that video, I asked the audience 3 questions, and I thought about creating this video so that we could go through those questions together and I can give my opinion on them as well. Okay, so the plan is to go through the video from start to finish. We can see what the 3 questions are that I asked at the end, and then we can go through them together. Okay, let's get into this.
I've got a story for you. It's about a young girl called Olivia who's 15 years old. And she's been chatting to this boy on Instagram for the past couple of months now, which is just so exciting. She's never really connected with a boy like this before. They chat nearly every night, and the more they get to know each other, the more they realise how much they've got in common. They like the same TV shows, they like the same music, and they have the same thoughts and feelings about things like school, their friends, and even their parents, so this whole thing just feels so special. They've discussed a couple of times about possibly making this official, but on second thoughts, they decided that it doesn't matter what other people think. They're happy the way they are, so they should continue the way they are. Now, as they talk more and more, sometimes the conversation does get a little naughty. I mean, they're young teenagers, what do you expect, right? Now, this does make Olivia feel a little shy, but the boy has also explained that it's his first time speaking about things like this as well, so they're kind of in the same boat. Recently, he did ask her if she wouldn't mind sending him a bit more of a revealing picture, maybe her in her underwear. It gave Olivia butterflies, but all the boyfriends and girlfriends are doing that these days, right? So she sends one. Now, unusually, she doesn't get the immediate response that she normally gets from the boy, so she just messages him again. But still no response. Now she's worried, so she messages him for the 3rd time, and this time she gets a response. But her heart literally stops as she reads it. The message lets her know that there is no boy. In fact, Olivia has been talking to a 35-year-old man. And that man is telling Olivia that she is to send him more pictures and more videos, this time doing explicit things. Otherwise, he's going to post the pictures that he already has all over the internet and tag her in them. Olivia can't believe it. She's in absolute panic, so she sends the man what he wants in fear of the repercussions. She doesn't know where to go or who to turn to. She's worried if she goes to her parents, they're going to get mad at her. If she goes to her friends, then she'll think that she's a fool for falling for this. So, how do you feel about the situation that Olivia's in? Do you think we should be putting more pressure on these social media giants like Instagram to monitor their messaging services more closely and catch the adults that are messaging children in this way? Do you think if Olivia was better informed, better educated on the dangers of being online, it would have at least led her to think twice about messaging someone who she's never met in this way? Let me know what you think. Thank you.
Okay, so there's the video. I tried my absolute hardest to do that, tell that story in a way where people will listen to it and watch it and be like, oh my goodness, I could really see how that could happen so easily. Oh my goodness, I could see how that is happening so easily all the time currently. The amount of times that young teenagers must be being approached by adults online must be so crazy. We could not even guess. Even if we were to guess the figures, we wouldn't come anywhere close. If you are a parent that's watching this and you have a teenage child, it may be worth the question to them just to ask them if this has happened to them. I put this video together actually in the hope that a parent who would want to would feel comfortable to watch this with their child. I don't think there's anything that would make a child feel embarrassed or I don't want to watch that with your mum. I don't want to watch that with your dad. I feel like this is a video, well, I hope that it is a video that a parent would be like, look, I got this thing I want to watch together, and you could answer the questions with your child at the end of the video. I feel like it's done that nicely. Let me know what you think. I'm not sure. So at the start of the video, I really wanted to show like how the relationship was building. They have lots of things that they feel they've got in common. Same music, same TV shows. I wanted to show how the adult who's messaging the child is talking to that child in a childlike, or not childlike, that's not the right word. They're talking to that child and grooming that child and pouncing on the things they know that child will be like, will enjoy in their life, and will be like, oh, we've got so much in common, we like the same things, and we think the same thing about our parents. I hope that line was quite hard hitting when you really think about it, because I wanted you to get to the end of the video when you now know it's an adult messaging the child and be like, they were talking about parents, and maybe that adult behind the scenes was like planting seeds that we shouldn't listen to our parents, and I don't like our parents, and just manipulating that young teenager. I hope that came across in a video. I tried so hard with that script. Yeah, I really did try hard with it. So when we start talking about the questions at the end of the video, let me just pull those questions up on this last slide here. It's like when we talk about or think about adults messaging children on these platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. When we talk about that, we are rightly so angry at the criminals, predators, abusers that are doing this. We're angry at them, yes, and we should be, because they are doing something absolutely wrong. They are committing a crime. They are doing something that is socially unacceptable. They are doing something that is going to affect that child's life for the rest of their life. And they're just doing something that's wrong. But my point is, are we not going to start getting angry with the platforms where this is being allowed to happen? It's like, is it that efficient and smart to put 100% anger towards the people that are doing these things, as if they're going to be like, oh my God, I've started seeing that people are angry with the people that are messaging, that adults that are messaging children, and I'm one of those adults, so I'm going to stop doing that. None of them are thinking that. So why are we not also angry with social media giants like Instagram, where we know that this is rife? It's like a free-for-all. You know what sometimes I think? I think the adults that are doing this and the ones that are talking amongst themselves about doing this, they are laughing at us. They are laughing at the lack of security on these platforms. You can create any profile of any age. You don't need to give any type of ID. You don't need to actually be confirmed that you are that age. Any adult can create a profile on social media posing as a 13-year-old. Easy. It's easy. They're laughing at us. Why is it not, as an example, government regulation that these social media giants who are making astronomical profits, why is it not a regulation that they have to put a percentage of that profit towards cleaning up their service? Cleaning up their service. Oh, could you imagine if every teenager that has ever been approached by an adult on social media wrote a post about it and posted it? If they all did it on one day. Let's say that there was a campaign and the campaign was on the, I don't know, let's take a date as an example. On the 25th of March, 2022, every teenager that's ever been approached by an adult on a social media platform has to post about it. Could you imagine? Could you actually imagine? Oh my God. It would get all over the news. It would get all over the news. Or would it? We don't know. But I'm pretty sure it would be all over the news and at least the major media outlets. The next question that I ask on this video is, do you think if Olivia was better informed and better educated on the dangers of being online, it would have at least led her to think twice before engaging with somebody that she didn't know or had never met in the way that she ended up doing so? So I'm currently putting together a proposal for a presentation for schools. And one of the things that I want to get in there, one of the subjects that I want to cover on this presentation is the discussion on the dangers young people can face online. I feel like because, you know, when you're in your early teenage years, you are of a nature where you're easily influenced, manipulated, and you are looking for praise. So if somebody is going to come on to your profile and private message you and start giving you compliments that you're pretty, that you're cool, that you're fashionable, and wanting to be your friend, a large percentage of those young teenagers are going to go in with that in a trusting way, because young people are trusting. Yeah, that's their nature. They have a kind nature. If they haven't been educated on the potential dangers of engaging with somebody who they've never seen, even if it's on FaceTime of some sort, it's all just written messages. If it hasn't been drilled into them that there's a danger there, they're never going to sense any danger. We've got no chance of them sensing any danger. What I also want to say is, the reason why I worded it like this, it would have at least led her to think twice before messaging someone in this way. The reason why I worded it like that is because I'm not saying that if you educate every child is not going to get pulled into this. Come on. We've got to be realistic about this. What I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. If it saves one child from getting in that situation, it's the right thing to do. And I am not just talking about one lesson every year at school about this. I'm not talking about one lesson every month at school about this. I'm talking about this should be at least a weekly lesson. How often do we teach math, science and English in school? Are parents more worried about their child failing maths, English or science at school, or being groomed and coerced by an adult online and possibly leading to physical, emotional, verbal abuse, possibly even that young teenager meeting up with this adult in real life? Which one are you more worried about? The failing of maths, English and science, or your young teenager meeting an adult somewhere out there because they think they're meeting their friend. So where's the priority here? Where is the priority in the education system? The reason why I'm talking so passionately about that right now is because I'm looking into that right now with this presentation that I'm putting together for schools. Another point on this video that I wanted to highlight, and I made sure that I got it there in the script, is the sending of revealing pictures online. Is this being talked about to young people? Is the risk of doing that being talked about to young people? I feel like in a young person's world, it's quite normal to send your boyfriend or girlfriend revealing pictures of yourself. I feel like that's almost, could we say, a culture within young teenagers. They've lived with their phones and the internet the whole of their lives. So that's why I put the line in the video of all the boyfriends and girlfriends are doing that these days, right? Because they are. I don't think you're going to stop that. It's a very, in your young teenage years, for a selection of teenagers, hormones are racing, everything is, you're experimenting, you are displaying, you are trying to attract your peers or other people. So I'm not saying education is going to stop young children from sending revealing pictures of themselves, but some awareness needs to be there, especially if you've never met that person that you're sending that picture to. That's a whole subject in itself. I feel like we're so far behind. These technologies come, they exist for generations, and then we're like, oh, we've got a problem here, I think. We are so slow to act. So slow to act. The education system is so slow to respond to what today's children need. I want to try my hardest to create content, create videos, create this channel, build this channel to something that teenagers will be watching. I want to create videos that teenagers will share amongst their peers. So I need to come away from it being a kind of education format, because that's for adults, not young teenagers. And I need to start moving towards it being more in the genre of drama and performance. I came across a spoken word artist called, I really don't want to get his name wrong. Let me just search it, because I feel like I want to mention it, because then you can check him out and see what I'm saying. I'm sure it's Prince EA. And yes, it is Prince EA on YouTube, 6 million subscribers. And he is a spoken word artist / poet. And he makes the most incredible videos that are so engaging. And they're really relating with the teenagers. And I hope that I can only imagine he's getting young teenagers to share that amongst their peer group. Now, this video that we're talking about in this video, it was aimed at adults. I need to start aiming more content at young people to bypass the education system. It's not very hard to come past the education system, because they are the tortoise in this race. Okay. Just before we close off, I posted the video last night. It has only been up for 12 hours. I posted the video on the 9th of March. The 8th of March. It's now the 9th of March. Something I've noticed, because actually this is the second story that I've posted. If you missed the first one, it's about Tommy, who's 15 years old, and he is just found porn on his phone for the first time. If you missed that video, you can check that out on my YouTube channel. What I'm noticing is, where I've asked the audience questions at the end of these videos, I was expecting and hoping that there'd be lots of comments coming in the comment section. It's not happening. I'm constantly asking myself why that is, because if I post a video about my story and it's quite heartfelt, and I talk about the abuse that I went through when I was 8 years old, and that type of vibe of post, you get lots of comments. So people are there to comment. Maybe people are resistant to comment because these are tough topics, and actually commenting puts your opinion in the public sphere. And I can only imagine that people just don't want to do that, and I fully understand. But part of my aim and my goal is to encourage conversation and to get conversation happening between us, because I feel that conversation is education, and that's one way that we can learn. We can learn from each other's opinions and lives and experiences. So I'm going to keep working hard at that. I'm always looking to improve. I'm always looking to progress. That is just what I'm aiming for. So always learning. Thank you for all the support. So much happening on this YouTube channel now. Please go check out the other videos. I feel like there's something for everyone with the different styles that I'm putting out there. And we just keep pushing forward. Thank you so much.